Then we create a project. I'm gonna call it database. Okay, I'm going to run it. Okay, let's start coding. Uh, okay, let's start coding. Window database. Okay, sorry guys, my computer is very slow. Okay, you're all still here. Then let's go and delete those things that we don't need from here. Okay, then I'm going to generate a new page. Can generate service. Then I'm going to generate an interface. I'm going to put it under services. Then I'm going to call it users. And I'm going to add Angular file. Angular file, it's Firebase. Add that. Okay, here I'm selecting the project. I'm gonna show you how you do this. So I'm using this one, it's the one that I created. Now we finally managed to integrate the Angular, Fire in our project. So to get this, to create a project, you need to go to Firebase. You must have a Gmail account. Go to Firebase, which is the Firebase cloud, and create an account. So just go there and add a project, and then from there, after creating that project, it will show you different options. Then you can, currently I'm using this one, is pay as I use, because I've been using database for a while. So you will use it for free on your case, and then you can go and then go to settings, project settings. That's where, but let me show you how to do it. Firstly, you just go there and create a project and say, enter the project name, say demo2, then continue. Then from there you can enable Google Analytics for this project or no, but you can continue. Then from there you select an account. So this is my account, it's my personal account. So create a project, and then from there it creating your project. Alright, then we continue. Then there we have our project. Then you can go here and select the platform you're developing for. Either you're developing for iOS, Android, which is native, and this one is Swift, and then this one is web, and then yeah, and then we are on the web. We are not doing the Swift, we are not doing Android, which is, you can use either Kotlin or Java. So we are doing the web, which is, it's cross-platform applications that we are doing. So we choose, going to click on the web, and then we give the name of the project that you are doing, demo test. Then this is hosting that I was referring you to, is that you can do it later, you can do it maybe now. Then you register the app. Then from there it will give you something that you can add on your database. This is what you need. This is your API key, your auth domain, your database URL. The backend is here, the messaging ID, the app ID. So you're gonna need these details here to connect to your database. So we're gonna copy this and then connect on our database. But I'm not using this one. I'm using this one. This is the one that I selected, so because I created this thing long time ago. So what I'm going to take now, I'm going to go here and say project settings, or you can go user permissions, where you allow certain things to be altered, or anything that you want to do. Then I want to go project settings. Then there's cloud messaging. Cloud messaging is where like you get the push notifications, your phone, like you have a mobile app, then users, they want to communicate and the app is closed, then they can get a notification, same as WhatsApp, where you get a notifications without you opening the app, without you like you just notify you. So this is, it's cloud messaging, which is push. So this is your server key. When you need it, they will say post the server key there and there. Then you can test it, can even test it on this side to test whether your messages are working, and then so forth. Then we have user permissions here, and then you can see who's the owner. Currently it's me. You can go and add a new member there, and then we go to general. That's where we need information to connect to our database. So to get them, we go here, and then we need, this is what we need, which is the demo, and then the demo. Under the demo, this is what I need. CDN is this is the CDN, and then this is what we need. Then the config, this is what you need. We need the config. So you just go there, copy, or you can copy the entire thing. Just copy, go and paste. So I'm just gonna copy this, copy, and then I go here. Then I go under my project. I don't know what happened here. So I'm just gonna bring this back, and then I'm gonna go to I'm copying the configurations under the environment. So currently I'm working on a demo, which is a test mode. So what are you going to do when you want to do like a production? That's where you're gonna move your code here. So the production, it must be true, because currently here the production is false, meaning that we are not developing, we are not deploying on the server currently. So we're gonna just going to write fire base, or you can write fire config or anything you want. Then you paste that configuration here. So that's how you get it. So now we are done on this part. So I'm going to go back and show you how you create your database. So going back to Google Cloud Firebase, I'm going to select that project that I created, which is demo 2. I'm going to click on it. So to create a Firebase, a database, you need to go to Cloud Firestore, and then from here, that's why you create a Firebase. Create your Firebase. So you can either start in a production mode, where like you are ready to deploy your app on the stores or anywhere where people they can be able to access, or you can go to test in a test mode, which gives you 30 days to access your data. But if like it continues, it automatically changes to production, where like you can access it any day. So these things, you can change the date, you can change the date of expiry, you can change, like you can choose the server, which one is the closest to you, there's regional in Asia, blah blah. So we are using the USA Central, or you can use the Europe Central. Sometimes they are down the servers, whereby you can experience challenges to connecting to Firebase or anything. So because this one is a real-time database, you don't need to be refreshing or doing like refreshing your app. It automatically push data to you. So we're going to use the US Central, and then we enable our cloud store. While it's on it, I'm just going to go here, and then I'm going to create, I'm going to routing module. Where is the routing app routine? App routine. Oh, I think I didn't add the app routine on this thing, man. Damn it. Okay, it's fine. We will work only on the component then, because I can see it doesn't have the navigation component here where we can open this, what we need. Okay, I'm just gonna go and cancel this, and then let me check this site. Blah blah com app component app root. Oh yeah, I see it doesn't have what we need. Then I'm gonna just write a test there, then you can go back. Okay, now it's working, so we don't need any page. So yeah, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a form here. So it's gonna be a class add users. I'm gonna call it add users. So I'm gonna create ng form. So here under ng form, we're gonna have blah blah. What is this now? I don't need this. ng form submit method blah blah. So and then yeah, then this ID, and then I'm gonna call it user data, and then submit. I'm gonna call it add users, then we pass user data. This is what we pass. Then we're gonna create input here, and then the name, we're gonna call it name, and then ng module, and then this name ng model. Then I'm gonna create another one, input, which is, I'm gonna call it surname, then it's ng model, and surname. Then I'm gonna submit button, submit, and then we add user. So let me just quickly style it up. Then I'm gonna call it form, input with 100%, padding 2%, border 1 px, black, solid, margin top on you can say 5 pixels, margin top. Then I'm gonna create a button. I'm gonna say must take width 100%. Then background color blue, color white, border none, padding 2%. So we're gonna have our form here. Gonna have a form, so it's giving me this name ng form, it's not there, so I'm just going to edit the form. You know this one, so I'm going to import the forms modules here. I'm going to import the forms module, here, and then from at Angular forms, the forms, not from, the forms. Angular form module. Spelling is killing me. Angular forms module, then copy, then we import. Then now we can go to the component, and then we import it this side. Just import. Then we import ng form. Then it's that ng form is imported for us. Then we can go and use it. Let's save. This is our thing, this is the form, and then this blah blah. Yeah, so let me just add some good style sheet there, and then let's say top 10 pixels, Then I'm gonna go to my form, width, I'm gonna give it 40%, heading 2%, border background color against border. So yeah, I want to go and do this now, finish this thing up. So this is our form. We can add, say, blah blah, add user, another function. We must go and create these things. Now we can go and get the values of our form. So we're going to go here and then call this function. Function is add user. And go here, add user, then add user, and then the name user data, and then ng form. Now we have these values here. Now we can use them. So we're going to add these to our database. So remember, we're just adding them now. So I'm going to go to our services. Where is our services? Services. This is the service that we're using. So we're going to import database now, Firebase. So first of all, we need to do it inside here. We need to initialize inside the app module so that we can use it across our what we call our project. So we're gonna start with Angular Fire module. It's Angular Fire module. Then from add Angular Fire. So this is what we need, and then we're going to input Angular Fire module, Firestore. So we need Firestore now. Angular Firestore. From add Angular Firestore. So this is what we need. Then we're going to go and import it and initialize it. So what we need Angular. We need Angular Fire module dot initialize app. Then now we are calling the variables. Remember, like we declared something here that allows us to connect to our Firebase database. So we're going to call the environment here. Environment, so it must import it for us. See, so it's going to be imported from here. So we're going to click enter. So it's imported there. So inside this class, we know we have Firebase and production, so we need Firebase. So then we are done. Then we import again this Angular Fire. Then now we are done here. Then we can go to services and use these modules. So we're going to go here and import we're going to go here and import Angular Fire we're going to import Angular Fire from Angular Fire. Okay, it's there for us. So now we're going to create a public variable here. I'm going to call it fire. Then it's Angular. Main entry point for features model power API for creating collections reference. Yeah, I think it's Angular fire. That's what we need here. Yeah, Angular fire. We don't need this. So now we have it there, and then we can continue to create any functions that we need. So we can go here and say add the user function. So we go add the user, then we are creating a functions to add the user. So we call it fire dot collections, then the collection name, like your field name, like the database name that you are doing. So we're gonna call it the users dot add, and then we add data. So we add data. This data we're gonna get it from the form. So this data is going to be passed from here. So our function receives an argument. So it's going to be this dot fire dot blah blah collection, and then now we can go and then use this thing from where is that? From here. So we can go and say import the service from this side. So we're going to import the service from here. So I'm going to create a constructor. So I'm going to create a constructor, and then name it data, and then data service. So imported the services here, then now we can use that service. Data dot, okay, I forgot to do something here. Return dot must give us something, data service, database service. What did they call it? Return add user. Let me save. Then we need to use this. It must give us the data service, database service, blah blah blah. Okay, let me go and add this service inside our module here, which is database. I've added it there. So I'm not sure why I'm not able to access it, but yeah, now it's there. So it needed me to add it inside there. So it's add user. So add user is going to receive the user data dot value. So let me go here and say dot data dot, then so we want to cache the results. So we're gonna post them on the log. Gonna be successfully added user, and then we can have an error here, cache error, and then can cache error, then we can log it. Error occurred, then we can write the error here. Yeah, so now we have this. I can go and save. Cannot resolve Angular fire. Data services. Okay, let me see. What did we do wrong? Angular fire. Where do I find it? Because it's supposed to be inside there. It's supposed to be Angular Firestore, Angular Firestore. Okay, there's too many Firestores here. Okay, now it's working. Then now we can try to add data and see how it works. Add data, so we managed to add data, successfully added data. So we can go and check. Yeah, where is that database that we are using? Can go and check here. So the collection that we just created now is this. So this is what we added. So we can go back and add another one here. Go and add, successfully added. So we can go back and check, and then we refresh. So this is the one that has been added. So now we are able to add data to our Firebase cloud. So now we need to go and read this. We need to go and pull this data and be able to display it. So I'm going to display this data. I'm going to go here and say get data from Firestore. So we're going to get data from Firestore. So get users. It doesn't receive any argument, so we just need to get all the data from the Firebase collection. Name of the collection is users. It's users. Then we are done. So we must return it. You must return it, and then this is how you get it. And then you can also go and do the then and blah blah on the other side. Then we can go here and say app component. Then we want to display data, so I'm going to create that function. It's ng init. Yeah, it's ng on it. So this is what we need. So it must not return void. So this is the function that we need, that it automatically loads data that we need to display. Display data. So I'm going to show you two methods of displaying this data. So what we need first, we need to declare a variable. We can call it user, or you can call it persons, and then we name it any. So we go here now and say we want to display that data. We say data dot get users dot. Now we can do the snap changes or value changes. So we are learning this now, which is snapshot changes, which create a stream of synchronized changes. This method keeps the local array in sorted query order. And then we have this listen to all documents in the collection in its possibility query. So meaning it observes for you whenever there's any changes that is happening on the database, then it can change it for you on this side. So that's why it's real database. So we're gonna start with snapshot changes, and let's see how it gets. Then we're going to subscribe to it. We subscribe, then create an element there, then let's say console.log, and then we want to see what we get from the console. Then let's save. So we managed to pull that data. You see, this is the data, but if you can see, it says this is the method that I'm going to show you, and then I'm going to show another method to get that data. So using the snap changes and the value changes. So this the snap one, you can see says payload type blah blah dog and let's say everything. So now what we need, we want to display that data here. So I'm going to create a list, going to go to here, and then we create list persons. So we're going to create a list, an ordered list here. So li, and then we're gonna have this. Then under here we must have the ng loop, ng4 items of items. So I need to get this variable persons, and then we go paste it here, and then now we can go and say items item.name. So let's see what happens, see if it displays or not. You see it's not displaying there. Just say this is not display because of this, the payload blah blah. So meaning that if you need to display that, we're gonna say payload dot what do we call it, document dot data then dot name. So now it must display what we need. It's not showing. Let me check what could be the problem. Item dot payload dot data, it must display what we need there. Item persons, let me see. Okay, no, it's because I didn't equate these persons to anything, so I need to say persons persons equals to action. So yeah, I needed to do this. Now you can see it displays two people there, it's Tyson and blah blah. So every it automatically generate an ID for you for each user. So now Miyawe has got his own user, Tyson has got his own ID. I mean, they have different IDs. So if you can go here and say we add Tyson mode and then Mutabing, then we add, you see it adds that person automatically and it shows that person immediately. So that's what you call a real database. So together, then we add, see it add them, so that there. So we can go and add Derek, then we say let's swallow, then we add, see it's adding them. So to display all that information, we can go back and say we want to display, I'm just gonna copy this and say name here, say name, and then ID, we want to display the user ID. I think it's doc.id. So let's play. So you see this name and surname and the user ID, see they are there. So every person has his own unique ID. So this is how you get the ID. So now let's use a different method to display this data. So I'm just gonna go and highlight this and create a new one here, and then we go and say ng4 items of persons and we go to app component. So now we no longer want to use this snap changes, we want to use value changes. You want to use value changes. So value changes, it returns raw data to you, it returns a JSON file to you, so it's easier to get data without using the payload and all those stuff. So we have something like this. Now we can say save, save all, and then now you will see it, because you see here it was saying added payload blah blah. So now you see how it displays. So now this is the data. You see now it shows us the raw data, like we have the objects there, they are there, like we don't need the payload and everything. So meaning that when we go this side, we just go and say I'm gonna paste, and then we remove the payload, and then we have the item.name. So this is how you can get it in simpler terms. So this is the other method that we can use. So it does the same thing, but to get an ID here is not that easy. To get the user IDs, it's just too much complications. So I recommend that we use this, because to get an ID here is easy to get the person's ID. So to get an ID here, we must go back inside the TypeScript and do a lot of coding instead of having it here like this. So I'm going to show you an interface now using this method, how to use an interface. And like maybe you want to do you want to create a function to filter by name, something like that, where you click shows you by name or greater than, something like that, where you have maybe you have marks inside your database and you want to display only those marks which have higher this and that. So we have an interface. So in our interface, what is that interface? Interface, we have the user. So inside here we're going to create we have name. Remember, this name, they must be exactly the same as the one that you have on your database, like name and surname is the one that we have now. So I'm gonna have surname and then I have string, because without interface you might find that you want to do something like if persons dot name equals to Tyson, then you can go and say console.log is available. So you want to do something like this, but because of this it might show you like this is not available, like it's not available, or it might show you an error. You see, like it doesn't show us anything because it does not exist, but we do have a name on our database, but in this side we cannot access it. So to access it, you need to do something like we have to have persons dot map value changes. Okay, we need action dot map, then we map that data. So I'm going to write element here, then we map that data, so now we can use it. Then we can create a variable constant here, and then we can say users info, users info, which equals to element s as what, as this, the one that we created, users, which is an interface. This is the interface Firebase user namespace blah blah, and then let's go this import from users. So we need these users. So now we imported that interface. So now you can go and say console.log, and then you can use user names, user info. What does it call? It's user info dot. You see, it's going to give you like too many things, get ID, blah 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 blah, what. But on this one that we created, I think they're duplicating, because ours is supposed to show us name, because we need to use a name. So I think user info and this one is duplicating with something. So I'm just going to go here and say change this user to users data, so that it doesn't duplicate with something, users data. So we can go here, it says from Firebase blah blah. We don't need this, we need users data. So it imported this from Firebase, users data. Let me see, users data, users. So is this the one? Yeah, it's the one that we need. We don't need this, then we don't need, and then this we don't need. Ours is this one. You can see now it doesn't give us any error. So the name is there. If I cancel this, say dot, it's the name and surname. So these are the things that we only have in our interface. So that's how you use it. It says displays the name, Tizen blah blah. So now we are able to map them here. You can go and create any functions under here without having to struggle a bit. So now I'm going to comment this out. This you can do on your own. So I'm going to say comment this. I'm checking the time because the time is moving. I want to use snapshot. Snapshot changes. So I'm using snapshot changes. Save this, and then we go back here. Then now we need this. We no longer need this. So we save. Are we still together, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to do one function, then we are done for the day, because I don't want this video to take longer. So when we meet again, we're just going to do maybe update data, and we update data. So but update is the similar as delete. So now we display this data. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to, like, when we click here, when we click on any name, it must disappear, it must delete. So I'm going to enlarge this. So I'm going to cut this, and put them under IP tag. So what we need here, we're gonna create a click function, and then we're gonna call it delete user. Then delete user, it must receive an argument. That argument is it's an ID. Remember, if every person has a unique ID, so you must pass that ID here. So you're passing that ID, then we're going to create these functions inside here. Then we go some component, then we can go here and say delete user, then it must receive an argument. So that argument is a reference. So the naming here doesn't matter as long as that function receives something. You can call it whatever that you want, a reference or anything. Doesn't mean you must, like when you're in this side, you must call it like a payload blah blah. It's gonna be an error. So you must receive an argument. So we are going to delete from here. So I'm going to go to services and create a delete function. So I'm gonna go here and say delete function, delete peasants. So it's gonna receive an argument which is reference. So we're gonna say fire dot collection. The name of the collection is users, and then document. The document will pass the reference, then dot. Now you can see it gives us an option. You say we have get, we have set, we have update. You see this update is there. That's why like I'm gonna show you this maybe when we meet again because of the time. So we're gonna have delete. Now we need a delete function. So we are deleting, then we can catch errors, then we can say then we say okay results, then we say console dot log. So here now we need to say successfully deleted. So console dot log successfully deleted dot catch. If we have an error, then it will show you that something wrong happened, so we couldn't delete. So we can have like console dot log successfully deleted. No, this is an error occurred. Error occurred. Then we have an error here that will display the message that is supposed to be returned. So you can go here and return this, or you can go and not return it. It's all up to you. You can return it or you cannot return it. So I'm going to go here and call that function which is delete data dot delete peasants. So peasants receives an argument, so it's ref in this case. So you are done. Then you can go and save all, and then we wait. Let's compile and see if there's any errors. So we are fine. Then we can click. It says deleting, successfully deleted. See? So now we removed everything in our database. We can go and check. You see now our collections, it's empty. So we can go back and add more users again. We add and add. Then we go back and check. We have new collections, they are added there. Then we can go back, delete. So any questions, guys? I think I'm done for today. Any questions? Any questions, guys?
No questions.
Do you understand?
A bit.
You understand a bit?
Yeah, we do understand a bit.
Okay, I think this the video will help more then, because I'm going to share it, so you will go through it. Then if you're still having challenges, you can come back to me. So the only thing that you are left to do is update. So how to update that data, where we want to update the name of the person or the surname, something like that, so we can move on. So like next time I might even use the observable to just for in case, so that you know it when you come across it. So if there's no questions, I think I'm done for today. And then I'm still going through your project that you did one by one, looking at your code bit by bit. So I will revert back to you, and then, but so far I'm happy because everyone has submitted, so I'm just going through them one by one. So for now, just go and practice on your own. Go and create a developer account on Google and create a Firebase account and start creating and adding data. Practice on your own, because after year I'm going to send you a project that I need you to do on your own, so that you know how to add data, delete data, because that is very important. Like systems, they need interaction between users. So if like you need people to chat, you need database. If you need to have like your portal to have clients, you need database. So database can handle and can manage users easily. So that's what we're going to do. As you can see, like Google Cloud is offering us the best cloud. Like it's real time. It pushes data to you. You don't need to go and get a dedicated server from AfriHost or any service providers to get a dedicated server, and thereafter that you must struggle to install the WebSocket where they must push data to you. No, database has those things for us. I mean, Firebase has those things for us. There are a lot of other cloud-based services out there that we can maybe go and read more about them, but now everyone, like, we prefer to use this Amazon services also, but we are still using the Google Cloud. So if there's no questions, guys, thank you so much for coming in, and then I'm going to share this video, and I hope you go and practice on your own. Then when we meet again, we are finishing up with an update button. Then from there, I give you a project. After that, we're going to go to what do you call those third-party sign up or log in with Facebook, log in with Google, log in with Twitter, so that when you create a system, I mean, users, they can be able to register and they can be able to log in, something like. But it's easy. It does that for us, so it's easily done. So I'm just gonna show you as we move on. So now I just want you to go and practice, and then if you want to validate your form, like you don't want to you want to check if the data exists inside your database. Like you see, like when I clicked here, I just say add. It keeps on adding the same person. So if you want to avoid this, it can be done also with a function where you check your database if this person exists. If it exists, then it must return an error. The person is already there. So it's easy to do this. But if you need help, I will show you how it's done. But now I just want to finish with the CRUDE, and then we can move forward very well. So I see now today we are joined by Jensen Mloto, and then Altheria, she's not here again, so I don't know what's the problem. So I did forward them an email, so if they continue.
She was here there. I think it's a network problem. She was here.
Okay. But please, let's communicate, because if you're quiet, I'm going to make things happen for you. Like, I'm just gonna do what I'm supposed to do, because we cannot keep on telling you the same thing over and over again. Talk to us. If you have a problem, talk to us. Talk to David, talk to Mahadi, or maybe talk to one of your colleagues. If there's personal issues, then we can help you, or you can come to me. Because if you don't join a lesson and you just keep quiet, you're not telling us anything, later now we get confused. We don't know what to do with you because you are quiet, you see. So please, let's communicate. It's very important. So yeah, reach Mukhadi, talk to her again, and then find out what's the problem. Why is she on and off, so that we know, because otherwise I'm forced to go and proceed with I'm supposed to do as a conductor. So please do that for me, Mukhadi, and then I think we are done for today, guys, and then have a good day. I'm going to share this video and share it on our classroom. Thank you so much for joining.
You too, sir.